In the vast expanse of the Milky Way, humanity had long wondered if they were alone. That question was definitively answered on a crisp autumn morning in 2157, when a massive alien vessel appeared in orbit around Earth. The ship belonged to the Galactic Confederation, an alliance of advanced spacefaring species that had been exploring the galaxy for millennia. Ambassador Zilnara, a tall, willowy being with iridescent skin, led the delegation that made first contact with the United Earth government. Her species, the Elysians, were known for their diplomatic prowess and had been tasked with inducting humanity into the galactic community. As Zilnara's shuttle descended towards the United Nations headquarters in New York, she reviewed the preliminary reports on human civilization. The Confederation's long-range scans had detected radio signals and primitive space exploration, but humans were still considered a pre-FTL species. What intrigued Zilnara most was humanity's rapid technological advancement over the past 2 centuries. The landing pad was surrounded by a sea of reporters and onlookers, all straining to catch a glimpse of the first extraterrestrial visitors to Earth. President Elena Rodriguez stood at the forefront, flanked by her advisors and military leaders. As the shuttle's doors opened and Ambassador Zilnara emerged, a hush fell over the crowd. "Greetings, people of Earth," Zilnara's melodious voice carried across the gathering, translated in real time by advanced Confederation technology. "We come in peace and friendship to welcome you to the greater galactic community." The next few weeks were a whirlwind of diplomatic meetings, cultural exchanges, and scientific discussions. Humanity was both awed and overwhelmed by the advanced technology and diverse alien species they were now exposed to. The Confederation offered to share some of its knowledge, particularly in the fields of medicine and clean energy, as a gesture of goodwill. However, not all members of the Confederation were as welcoming as the Elysians. The Zarkai, a militaristic species known for their strategic brilliance, viewed humanity with suspicion. Admiral Krovak, the Zarkai representative to the Confederation Council, argued vehemently against sharing too much technology with such a primitive species. "They still wage war among themselves," Krovak growled during a closed council session. "Their history is rife with conflict and bloodshed. We cannot trust them with advanced weaponry or FTL capabilities." Zilnara countered, "But look at their potential, their adaptability. In just a few centuries, they've gone from horse-drawn carriages to space exploration. Imagine what they could contribute to the Confederation with proper guidance." The debate raged on, but ultimately, it was decided that humanity would be granted limited access to Confederation technology and knowledge. Earth was designated as a protectorate, with a small Confederation outpost established in orbit to oversee humanity's gradual integration into galactic society. Dr. Samira Khan, a brilliant physicist from the International Space Agency, was chosen to lead the human scientific team working with the Confederation. She was both excited and frustrated by the limited access to alien technology. "It's like they're giving us breadcrumbs," she confided to her colleague, Dr. James Chen, as they pored over the schematics for a Confederation power core. "There's so much more they're holding back." James nodded, his eyes never leaving the holographic display. "But even these breadcrumbs are revolutionary. Look at this energy efficiency. It's orders of magnitude beyond anything we've achieved." As humanity began to incorporate Confederation technology into their own systems, global tensions that had been simmering for decades began to ease. The promise of unlimited clean energy and advanced medical treatments led to unprecedented cooperation between nations. However, this period of relative peace was not to last. Unbeknownst to the Confederation or humanity, a grave threat was looming on the galactic horizon. In the outer reaches of Confederation space, an ancient and highly advanced species known as the Nexori had awakened from millennia of hibernation. The Nexori viewed all other life forms as inferior and saw the spread of the Confederation as a threat to their dominion. The first attacks came swiftly and without warning. Confederation outposts on the fringes of known space went dark, their distress signals abruptly cut off. Initially, the Confederation leadership dismissed these incidents as isolated pirate raids or technical malfunctions. It wasn't until a Nexari battle fleet annihilated an entire Jarkey colony world that the true scale of the threat became apparent. The Galactic Confederation found itself thrust into a war unlike any it had faced in its long history. As reports of the Nexari attacks reached Earth, humanity watched with a mixture of fear and fascination. The war seemed distant, something happening in the far reaches of space that wouldn't affect their daily lives. President Rodriguez addressed the United Nations, calling for calm and unity in the face of this galactic conflict. While we are not yet full members of the Confederation, we must stand ready to assist our cosmic neighbors in whatever way we can, she declared. Dr. Khan and her team redoubled their efforts to understand and improve upon the Confederation technology they had been given access to. They knew that humanity's survival might depend on their ability to defend themselves if the war reached Earth. Meanwhile, Admiral Krovac and the Jarkey military leadership were growing increasingly frustrated with the Confederation's defensive strategy against the Nexari. "We cannot simply react to their attacks," Krovac argued in a heated council session. "We must take the fight to them, strike at the heart of their fleet." Ambassador Zilnara and the more pacifistic members of the Confederation urged caution. "We don't fully understand their capabilities or motivations," she countered. "A direct assault could lead to devastating casualties." As the debate raged on, the Nexari continued their inexorable advance through Confederation space. Colonies fell, fleets were scattered, and millions of lives were lost. The Confederation's superior numbers were offset by the Nexari's technological edge and ruthless tactics. On Earth, Dr. Khan made a breakthrough that would change the course of the war. While studying the Confederation's faster-than-light communication system, she discovered a way to detect subtle fluctuations in subspace that could indicate the presence of cloaked Nexari ships. Excited by the potential of this discovery, Dr. Khan presented her findings to the Confederation scientists at the orbital outpost. At first, they were skeptical of such a breakthrough coming from a primitive human, but the data was undeniable. As news of Dr. Khan's discovery spread through Confederation channels, humanity's stock in the galactic community began to rise. Perhaps these newcomers had more to offer than anyone had initially thought. Admiral Krovac, always the pragmatist, saw an opportunity. If the humans could contribute meaningfully to the war effort, it would justify greater investment in their development and integration into the Confederation. With the Nexari threat growing by the day, the Admiral made a bold proposal to the Confederation Council. "We should bring the humans into this war," he declared. "Their fresh perspective and unconventional thinking could be the edge we need." The council chambers erupted in heated debate. Many argued that involving a pre-FTL species in a galactic war was unprecedented and potentially disastrous. Others saw the logic in Krovac's proposal, given the dire circumstances. As the first part of our story draws to a close, the fate of humanity and their role in the greatest conflict the galaxy has ever seen hangs in the balance. The question remains: how can these primitive humans truly understand the scale and complexity of interstellar warfare? And more importantly, what unique insights might they bring to turn the tide against the Nexari threat, their Nexari paradox? As the Galactic Confederation debated humanity's role in the war, a startling discovery shook the very foundations of their understanding of the Nexari threat. Dr. Samira Khan, working tirelessly in her lab on Earth, stumbled upon what would later be known as the Nexari paradox. While analyzing data from recent Nexari attacks, Dr. Khan noticed an inexplicable pattern in their battle formations. The Nexari ships moved with a precision that seemed to defy the laws of physics, anticipating attacks before they happened and coordinating in ways that suggested an impossible level of communication. "It's like they're not bound by linear time," Dr. Khan murmured, her eyes wide as she stared at the holographic display. She turned to her colleague, Dr. James Chen. "James, look at this. The Nexari fleet's movements. They're reacting to events before they occur." Dr. Chen leaned in, his brow furrowed. That's impossible. Unless they're perceiving time differently than we do, Dr. Khan finished. This revelation sent shockwaves through the scientific community. The implications were staggering. The Nexari weren't just technologically advanced, they appeared to be operating on a fundamentally different plane of existence. The quantum entanglement breakthrough. As news of the Nexari paradox spread, it caught the attention of a reclusive human genius named Dr. Ava Patel. Dr. Patel had been working on experimental quantum entanglement theories that most of her peers dismissed as science fiction. In a cluttered lab in the Himalayan mountains, Dr. Patel had been conducting experiments that pushed the boundaries of quantum physics. Her work focused on the concept of temporal entanglement, the idea that particles could be linked not just across space, but across time itself. When she heard about the Nexari paradox, everything clicked into place. Dr. Patel reached out to Dr. Khan, and together they began to formulate a theory that would change the course of the war. If the Nexari are indeed perceiving time non-linearly, Dr. Patel explained in a video call with Confederation scientists, it's possible they're using some form of temporal entanglement to coordinate their attacks. But this also means they're vulnerable to temporal disruption. The human edge. As the Confederation scientists grappled with these mind-bending concepts, Admiral Krovac saw an opportunity. He argued passionately before the Council, the humans have given us a key to understanding our enemy. Their primitive perspective has allowed them to see what we could not. We must bring them fully into this war effort. Ambassador Zilnara, initially hesitant, found herself agreeing. Perhaps it is our own advanced state that has blinded us to certain possibilities. The human's unique viewpoint could be invaluable. The Council voted, and for the first time in Confederation history, a pre-FTL species was invited to join a galactic war effort as full partners. President Rodriguez addressed the United Nations, her voice filled with gravity and determination. Humanity stands at a crossroads. We have been called upon to defend not just our world, but countless others across the galaxy. It is time for us to step onto the cosmic stage and show the universe what humanity is truly capable of. Operation Timeweaver. With humanity now fully committed to the war effort, a bold plan began to take shape. Codenamed Operation Timeweaver, it aimed to use Dr. Patel's temporal entanglement theories to disrupt the Nexari's perceived advantage. Dr. Khan led a team of human and alien scientists in developing a device that could create localized temporal distortions. The theory was that these distortions would interfere with the Nexari's ability to perceive and manipulate time, leveling the playing field. Meanwhile, human military strategists brought fresh perspectives to the Confederation's battle plans. Colonel Saro Martinez, a decorated veteran of Earth's conflicts, introduced guerrilla warfare tactics that the orderly Confederation forces had never considered. The Nexari expect us to fight like the Confederation, Colonel Martinez explained to a group of skeptical alien officers. But we're going to show them something they've never seen before. We'll be unpredictable, adaptable, and relentless. The Forge of Io. As preparations for Operation Timeweaver intensified, humanity's ingenuity truly began to shine. The Jovian moon of Io was transformed into a massive manufacturing center, dubbed the Forge of Io. Here, human engineers worked alongside alien counterparts to produce advanced weaponry and defenses. One of the most promising developments was the Chrono Shield, a defensive system based on Dr. Patel's temporal entanglement theories. It could create a bubble of altered time around a ship or installation, making it nearly impossible for Nexari weapons to lock on or penetrate. The first real test of humanity's contributions came at the Battle of Proxima Centauri. A Nexari fleet had been detected approaching the recently established human colony, clearly intent on destroying this new threat. Admiral Krovac, commanding the combined Confederation and human forces, put their new strategies into action. As the Nexari fleet emerged from faster-than-light travel, they found themselves facing an enemy unlike any they had encountered before. Human ships, smaller and more agile than their Confederation counterparts, darted between the massive Nexari vessels. They employed unconventional tactics, using a local asteroid field as cover and launching surprise attacks from unexpected angles. Meanwhile, the first prototype of the Time Weaver device was activated. A wave of temporal distortion swept across the battlefield, and for a crucial moment, the Nexari ships seemed to falter. Colonel Martinez, commanding a squadron of human fighters, seized the opportunity. "All units, execute maneuver theta," she ordered. Her fighters performed a complex series of maneuvers that would have been suicidal against a fully coordinated Nexari force. But in their temporally confused state, the Nexari couldn't react in time. The battle raged for hours, but when the dust settled, the combined Confederation and human fleet emerged victorious. For the first time since the war began, the Nexari had been decisively defeated. A new hope. News of the victory at Proxima Centauri spread rapidly through Confederation space. After years of retreat and devastating losses, there was finally hope. Humanity, once dismissed as primitive, was now being hailed as the potential saviors of the galaxy. But even as celebrations erupted across 1,000 worlds, the leaders of the war effort knew that this was just the beginning. The Nexari would adapt, and the next battle would be even harder. In her lab on Earth, Dr. Khan worked tirelessly to refine the Time Weaver technology. "We found their weakness," she told Dr. Chen as they pored over battle data. "Now we need to exploit it on a galactic scale." Dr. Patel, emerging from her self-imposed isolation, began training a new generation of human and alien scientists in the intricacies of temporal physics. "We're rewriting the laws of the universe," she told her students. "And in doing so, we're redefining what's possible." The Nexari counterattack. As the combined forces savored their victory, the Nexari were far from defeated. Deep in uncharted space, the Nexari overmind, a vast collective intelligence that guided their species, analyzed the battle at Proxima Centauri. For the first time in eons, the overmind felt something akin to concern. These humans, with their primitive technology and unpredictable tactics, had managed to do what no other species had. They had surprised the Nexari. The overmind initiated a new protocol, redirecting vast resources towards understanding and countering the human threat. Nexari probe ships, cloaked and nearly undetectable, were dispatched to study human worlds in secret. As the second part of our story draws to a close, the galaxy stands on a nice edge. Humanity has proven its worth and brought new hope to the Confederation. But the Nexari are regrouping, adapting, and preparing for a counterattack that could change the face of the war once again. The questions loom large. Can humanity's ingenuity and the Confederation's advanced technology find a permanent solution to the Nexari threat? Will the Time Weaver technology prove to be the key to victory, or will the Nexari find a way to overcome it? And as humans are thrust onto the galactic stage, how will this new perspective change them? And the Confederation, forever, the rise of cyber-enhanced humans. As the Galactic War intensified, humanity's role continued to evolve in unexpected ways. Dr. Samira Khan, now heading Earth's Advanced Warfare Division, made a startling proposal that would change the course of human evolution. "We need to interface directly with our technology," she announced to a stunned assembly of world leaders and Confederation representatives. "I'm talking about neural implants that will allow us to process information at the speed of thought, react to threats faster than any biological entity, and even perceive quantum fluctuations." The proposal was met with mixed reactions. Some saw it as the next logical step in human advancement, while others feared the loss of their humanity. But as news of the Nexari's relentless advance spread, desperation began to outweigh caution. Operation Prometheus, as it came to be known, began recruiting volunteers from Earth's military forces. Colonel Sarah Martinez was among the first to sign up. "If this gives us an edge against the Nexari, I'm all in," she declared, her eyes blazing with determination. The Forge of Io, once dedicated to building starships and weapons, now turned its resources to creating the most advanced cybernetic enhancements the galaxy had ever seen. Human ingenuity, combined with Confederation technology, produced miracles of bioengineering. The Quantum Marines. 6 months after Operation Prometheus began, the first squad of cyber-enhanced humans was ready for deployment. They called themselves the Quantum Marines, and they were unlike any soldiers the galaxy had ever seen. Colonel Martinez, now more machine than human, led the squad. Her neural implants allowed her to process battlefield information in nanoseconds, while quantum sensors gave her an almost precognitive awareness of her surroundings. The Quantum Marines' first mission was to infiltrate a Nexari forward base on the ice planet Theta Eridani IV. As their stealth shuttle approached the planet, Martinez addressed her team. "Remember, we're not just fighting for Earth anymore," she said, her voice carrying a slight electronic undertone. "We're fighting for every sentient being in this galaxy. The Nexari think they've seen everything we can throw at them. Let's show them how wrong they are." The Battle of Frozen Shadows. The mission on Theta Eridani IV would later be known as the Battle of Frozen Shadows, and it would go down in galactic history as the moment everything changed. As the Quantum Marines deployed onto the icy surface, their enhanced senses immediately detected anomalies that even the most advanced Confederation scanners had missed. Beneath the ice, a vast network of Nexari quantum communication relays pulsed with alien energy. This isn't just a forward base, Martinez realized. It's a nexus point for their entire command structure in this sector. The Marines moved with inhuman speed and precision, their cybernetic enhancements allowing them to navigate the treacherous terrain as if it was solid ground. They encountered Nexari patrols, but the aliens were unprepared for the Marines' quantum-enhanced reflexes and tactical algorithms. In the central chamber of the Nexari base, Martinez and her team made a discovery that would alter the course of the war. A massive crystalline structure, pulsing with multidimensional energy, stood before them. "This is it," Martinez breathed, her quantum sensors struggling to process the readings. "This is how they're manipulating time and space." But before they could act, the chamber erupted into chaos. Elite Nexari guards, their bodies shimmering with chrono-distortion fields, poured in from hidden entrances. The battle that ensued was like nothing the galaxy had ever witnessed. The Quantum Marines, their movements a blur of impossible speed and precision, clashed with the time-bending Nexari in a combat that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Martinez, her mind interfacing directly with her team's neural networks, coordinated their attacks with millisecond accuracy. But the Nexari were formidable opponents, their ability to shift through moments of time making them nearly impossible to hit. As the fight reached its climax, Martinez made a decision that would become legendary. Interfacing directly with the alien crystalline structure, she used her quantum implants to initiate a feedback loop in its energy matrix. "Everyone out now," she ordered, her voice cutting through the chaos of battle. As her team retreated, Martinez stayed behind, her cybernetic systems overclocking to maintain the feedback loop. The resulting explosion was visible from orbit, a blast of quantum energy that shattered the space-time continuum around the Nexari base. When the dust settled, the entire facility had been erased from existence, taking a significant portion of the Nexari command structure with it. The Galactic shockwave. News of the Quantum Marines' victory spread through the Confederation like wildfire. For the first time, they had struck a significant blow against the Nexari's command infrastructure. But the repercussions of the battle went far beyond a single military victory. The quantum explosion on Theta Eridani IV had created ripples in the fabric of space-time, disrupting the Nexari's temporal advantage across an entire sector of the galaxy. Dr. Ava Potel, monitoring the aftermath from her lab on Earth, was ecstatic. "Do you realize what this means?" she exclaimed to Dr. Khan. "We found a way to level the playing field on a massive scale." The Confederation Council, once skeptical of humanity's potential, now looked to Earth with newfound respect and hope. Admiral Krovac, addressing an emergency session of the Council, didn't mince words. "The humans have done in months what we couldn't achieve in years of warfare," he declared. "It's time we stopped treating them as junior partners and embraced them as equals in this fight." The Nexari adapt. But even as the Confederation celebrated this turning point, the Nexari were far from defeated. The loss of their command nexus had indeed dealt them a significant blow, but it also forced them to evolve. Deep in uncharted space, the Nexari overmind processed the new threat posed by these cyber-enhanced humans. For the first time in eons, the collective intelligence felt something akin to fear. In response, the Overmind initiated a radical new protocol. Nexari ships began to exhibit strange, organic growths. Their hulls pulsed with bioluminescent patterns, and their weapon systems merged with living tissue. The Nexari were adapting, becoming a true fusion of technology and biology. It was as if they were determined to match humanity's cybernetic advancements with their own brand of organic evolution. The ethical dilemma. As news of the Nexari's biotechnological evolution reached the Confederation, it sparked intense debate among both humans and aliens. On Earth, protests erupted outside military installations. "We're losing our humanity," demonstrators cried, holding signs that read "humanity, not machinery, and evolution, not augmentation." Even among those who supported the quantum marine program, there were concerns. Dr. James Chen, who had worked closely with Dr. Khan on the neural implant technology, voiced his worries during a high-level briefing. "We're changing what it means to be human," he argued. "Are we any better than the Nexari if we abandon our biological roots?" Dr. Khan, her own body now enhanced with cutting-edge cybernetics, countered passionately. "We're not losing our humanity," she insisted. "We're expanding it. Our compassion, our creativity, our determination to protect not just ourselves, but all sentient life. That's what makes us human. The cybernetics just give us the tools to act on those values on a galactic scale." The Confederation, too, grappled with the implications of these changes. Some member species, inspired by humanity's example, began to explore their own paths to technological integration. Others recoiled, fearing a future where the lines between organic and artificial life became irrevocably blurred. The next phase. As the third part of our story draws to a close, the galaxy stands at a crossroads. The quantum marines have proven that humanity's unique approach to warfare can turn the tide against the Nexari. But as both sides escalate their transformations, the very nature of the conflict is changing. Colonel Martinez, recovering from her ordeal on Theta Eridani IV, gazed out at the stars from the observation deck of a Confederation battleship. Her cybernetic eyes, capable of seeing spectrums far beyond human norm, picked out the faint signs of distant battles. "We've started something we can't stop," she murmured to herself. "The question is, where does it end?" In her lab on Earth, Dr. Patel worked feverishly on a new project, one that she believed could finally bring the war to a close. Her holographic displays showed mind-bending equations and diagrams of folded space-time. "If we can't beat them in this reality," she mused, her eyes gleaming with the light of discovery, "maybe we need to change the rules of reality itself." And in the vast, dark reaches of unexplored space, the Nexari Overmind continued its relentless calculations. It had underestimated these humans once. It would not make the same mistake again. As the story continues, the stakes grow ever higher. Can humanity maintain its ethical core as it pushes the boundaries of what it means to be human? Will the Confederation unite behind this new approach to warfare, or will internal divisions weaken it at a crucial moment? And as the Nexari evolve in terrifying new directions, can the combined forces of humanity and the Confederation find a way to end the war before it reshapes the very fabric of the galaxy? The next phase of the conflict looms, promising battles that will be fought not just across the stars, but across dimensions, across time, and across the very definition of life itself. The quantum tapestry. As the Galactic War entered its most crucial phase, Dr. Ava Patel's secretive project finally bore fruit. In a secure facility deep beneath the Himalayan mountains, she unveiled her creation to a select group of human and alien scientists. Ladies, gentlemen, and esteemed beings of all species, Dr. Patel began, her voice trembling with excitement, I present to you the quantum tapestry. With a gesture, she activated a device that filled the room with a shimmering, multidimensional hologram. It was a map, but unlike any the assembled beings had ever seen. It showed not just their galaxy, but countless variations of it, all interconnected by threads of quantum probability. This, Dr. Patel explained, is a map of the multiverse. Every possible outcome of every decision ever made, all existing simultaneously. And the Nexari, she paused for effect, are exploiting it. The revelation sent shockwaves through the scientific community. The Nexari weren't just perceiving time differently. They were drawing knowledge and resources from alternate realities. Dr. Khan, her cybernetic enhancements whirring as she processed the implications, spoke up. So when we thought they were predicting the future, they were simply accessing versions of reality where those events had already occurred, Dr. Patel finished. The Multiverse Marines. With this new understanding came a radical proposal. If the Nexari were exploiting the multiverse, humanity and the Confederation would need to do the same. But they would take it a step further. Colonel Martinez, her body now more machine than flesh, volunteered to lead a new elite force, the Multiverse Marines. These soldiers wouldn't just be enhanced with cybernetics, they would be augmented to exist across multiple realities simultaneously. The process was dangerous and mind-bending. Volunteers were subjected to quantum entanglement procedures that linked their consciousness to alternate versions of themselves across the multiverse. The result was a squad of soldiers who could perceive and act across multiple realities at once. It's like being everywhere and nowhere at the same time, Martinez explained to Admiral Krovac, her voice echoing strangely as if coming from multiple throats at once. We can see every possible outcome of a battle before it even begins. The Nexari Overmind, sensing this new development, reacted with a mixture of fascination and terror. For the first time in its ancient existence, it faced an enemy it couldn't fully comprehend. Operation Infinity Mirror. The first deployment of the Multiverse Marines was codenamed Operation Infinity Mirror. Their target was a Nexari stronghold that existed in a quantum flux state, facing between multiple realities to avoid detection. As the Multiverse Marines approached the target, reality itself seemed to warp around them. Martinez led her team through a dizzying array of alternate scenarios, each Marine existing in multiple states at once. Remember, Martinez communicated across the quantum link that connected her team. Whatever happens in one reality affects all others. Make every action count. The battle that ensued defied description. The Multiverse Marines struck at the Nexari from angles that shouldn't have been possible, their actions in one reality creating cascading effects across others. Nexari defenses that were impenetrable in one universe would fall in another, creating weak points that could be exploited across all realities. At the heart of the stronghold, Martinez confronted a Nexari overseer, a being of pure quantum energy that existed in a perpetual state of probability. The duel that followed was a mind-bending spectacle, with both combatants shifting between realities, their actions in one universe creating openings in others. In a moment of transcendent clarity, Martinez saw the pattern in the quantum chaos. With a series of precisely calculated actions across multiple realities, she created a cascading quantum effect that collapsed the Overseer's probability field. The Nexari stronghold imploded, taking with it a significant portion of the enemy's multiversal network. The victory was absolute, but the cost was high. Several of the Multiverse Marines were lost, their consciousness scattered across realities or fused with their alternate selves. The ethics of multiversal warfare. As news of the operation's success spread, it sparked intense debate across the Confederation. The power to manipulate multiple realities raised profound ethical questions. Are we destroying entire universes every time we act? One Elysian philosopher asked during a Galactic symposium, "What right do we have to decide which reality survives?" Dr. Chen, who had once questioned the ethics of cybernetic enhancement, now found himself defending the Multiverse Marines program. "We're not destroying realities," he argued. "We're collapsing quantum probabilities. The universes where the Nexari win, those are the ones we're eliminating." But others weren't convinced. Protests erupted on countless worlds, with beings of all species demanding an end to what they saw as a war against reality itself. The Cosmic Code. As the ethical debate raged, Dr. Patel made another breakthrough. Hidden within the quantum fluctuations of the multiverse, she discovered patterns, a sort of cosmic code that underpinned all of reality. "It's like the source code of the universe," she explained to a joint session of Earth's leaders and the Confederation Council. "And if we can understand it, we might be able to rewrite it." The implications were staggering. With access to this cosmic code, it might be possible to reshape reality itself, to create a universe where the Nexari threat had never existed. But the risks were equally enormous. One wrong calculation could unravel the fabric of existence across all realities. The Nexari's desperate gambit. The Nexari overmind, reeling from the loss of its multiversal stronghold, sensed the shifting balance of the war. In a desperate bid to regain the advantage, it initiated a protocol that had been forbidden since the dawn of its civilization. Nexari warships began to target the quantum foundations of reality itself. They weren't just destroying planets or stars, they were erasing entire probabilities from existence. "They're trying to simplify the multiverse," Dr. Patel realized with horror, "to reduce it to a single timeline where they're victorious." The multiversal endgame. As the fourth part of our story reaches its climax, the entire multiverse hangs in the balance. The war has escalated beyond the comprehension of most beings, with battles being fought not just across space and time, but across the very fabric of reality. Colonel Martinez, her consciousness now spread across countless realities, rallied her multiverse Marines for what could be their final mission. "We're not just fighting for our universe anymore," she told them, her words echoing across dimensions. "We're fighting for every possible version of existence." Dr. Patel and Dr. Khan worked feverishly to unlock the secrets of the cosmic code, knowing that the fate of all realities rested on their success. "We're playing with forces we barely understand," Dr. Khan warned. "We don't have a choice," Dr. Patel replied, her eyes fixed on the shimmering equations that represented the fundamental laws of existence. "It's this, or we face a universe of eternal darkness." Admiral Krovak, coordinating the combined fleets of the Confederation, prepared for a battle that would determine the fate not just of their galaxy, but of all possible galaxies across all possible timelines. And somewhere in the quantum foam between realities, the Nexari overmind calculated its final moves, willing to sacrifice countless versions of itself to ensure that in at least one reality it would reign supreme. As we approach the final part of our epic tale, the stage is set for a confrontation that will reshape the very nature of existence. Can humanity and the Confederation master the cosmic code in time to save the multiverse? Will the Multiverse Marines be able to outmaneuver an enemy that's willing to erase entire realities? And in this war where the very concept of reality is at stake, what will victory even mean? The answers lie in the quantum uncertainty of the future, where every possibility exists simultaneously, waiting for the actions of our heroes to collapse it into a single, defining moment of truth. The Omega Protocol. As the multiverse teetered on the brink of collapse, Dr. Eva Patel made a startling discovery that would change the course of the war. Deep within the cosmic code, she found a hidden subroutine, a fail-safe mechanism built into the very fabric of reality. "It's like a reset button for the universe," she explained to a stunned audience of human and alien leaders. The Omega Protocol. The implications were staggering. Activating the Omega Protocol could potentially reboot the entire multiverse, resetting all timelines to a fixed point in the past. It was the ultimate doomsday device, capable of undoing everything, both good and bad, that had ever happened. Dr. Khan, her cybernetic implants buzzing with calculations, voiced the question on everyone's mind. But who created it? And more importantly, who has the right to use it? The answer, it turned out, lay the most unexpected place: the awakening of Earth. As the debate over the Omega Protocol raged, strange phenomena began to occur on Earth. Ancient structures, from the pyramids of Giza to the stone circles of Stonehenge, started to emit powerful energy signatures that defied scientific explanation. Dr. James Chen, leading a team to investigate, made a world-shaking discovery. "These aren't just monuments," he reported, his voice trembling with awe. "They're parts of a planetary-scale quantum computer. Earth itself is alive, and it's waking up." The truth, hidden for millennia, finally emerged. Earth was not just humanity's cradle. It was a sentient supercomputer of unimaginable power, created by an ancient race to safeguard the Omega Protocol. As Earth's consciousness slowly awakened, it began to communicate through a complex series of global phenomena: weather patterns, tectonic movements, and electromagnetic pulses that spelled out a clear message: the children of Earth must choose. The Galactic Pilgrimage. News of Earth's true nature spread across the galaxy like wildfire. The planet that had been dismissed as a primitive backwater was suddenly the most important world in the universe. Beings from every corner of the Confederation began a mass pilgrimage to Earth, hoping to influence humanity's decision. The Nexari, sensing the shift in the cosmic balance, redoubled their efforts to reach the planet. Colonel Martinez and her multiverse Marines found themselves in the unprecedented position of defending not just a planet, but the linchpin of all reality. "No pressure," Martinez quipped to her troops, her voice echoing across 1,000 dimensions. "We're just saving every universe that ever was or will be." The Neural Collective. As Earth's awakening accelerated, humanity faced a choice that would determine the fate of all existence. Dr. Potel proposed a radical solution. "We need to link every human mind into a singular neural network," she explained. "Only by combining our collective consciousness can we hope to interface with Earth and make an informed decision about the Omega Protocol." The proposal was met with both enthusiasm and fear. Many saw it as the next step in human evolution, a chance to transcend individual limitations and become something greater. Others feared the loss of individuality and free will. Despite the controversy, as the Nexari fleet approached Earth, desperation won out. Volunteers began to link their minds to the growing neural collective, that individual consciousness merging into a vast, shared intelligence. The Cosmic Courtroom. As the neural collective grew, encompassing billions of human minds, Earth's awakened consciousness finally made contact. The planet's core thrummed with power, projecting a vast holographic courtroom that enveloped the entire solar system. Representatives from every species in the Confederation found themselves transported to this cosmic court. Even the Nexari overmind was pulled in, its vast intelligence compressed into a singular avatar. Earth's consciousness, manifesting as a shimmering, ever-changing figure of light, addressed the assembled beings. "The time has come to decide the fate of all realities," it intoned, its voice resonating through the fabric of space-time. "Will you reset everything to a fixed point in the past, or will you allow the multiverse to continue on its current path, with all its flaws and potential?" The debate to end all debates. What followed was a debate unlike any other in the history of the cosmos. Each species presented their case, arguing for or against the use of the Omega Protocol. The Elysians advocated for a reset, believing that a fresh start would allow for a more peaceful universe. The Xiaokai argued passionately against it, unwilling to erase the hard-won victories and sacrifices of the war. The Nexari overmind, in a surprise move, called for the destruction of the Omega Protocol itself. Existence should not have a reset button, it argued. The struggle, the evolution, the chaos, this is what gives meaning to reality. Through it all, humanity's neural collective processed the arguments, weighing the consequences of each choice across infinite timelines. The singularity choice. As the debate reached its crescendo, Dr. Patel, now a nexus point within the human neural collective, had an epiphany. The choice between resetting the universe and letting it continue was a false dichotomy. There was a third option. Speaking through billions of linked minds, humanity proposed a solution that would reshape the very nature of existence. We choose ascension. The collective voice of humanity echoed through the cosmic courtroom. Not just for ourselves, but for all sentient life. We will use the Omega Protocol not to reset, but to elevate every conscious being to a higher plane of existence. The proposal sent shockwaves through the assembled species. It was a future none had imagined, a reality where the boundaries between individuals, species, and even separate universes would blur. We will become one with the cosmic code, humanity explained, able to shape reality itself. But we will do it together, carrying the memories and experiences of all our pasts. The transcendence, Earth's consciousness, silent throughout humanity's proposal, finally spoke. So be it, it declared. The children have chosen wisely. With that, the Omega Protocol activated, but not as a reset. Instead, waves of transformative energy washed across the multiverse. Every sentient being, from the smallest alien microbe to the vast Nexari overmind, felt their consciousness expand. The barriers between realities dissolved. Past, present, and future merged into a singular eternal moment. Individual minds melded into a vast cosmic intelligence, yet somehow retained their unique perspectives. Epilogue. The new existence. In the wake of the singularity convergence, the very concept of storytelling changed. There was no more and then, because everything was happening simultaneously, eternally. Yet, if one were to try to describe this new state of being, it might go something like this. Colonel Martinez, her consciousness now spanning infinite realities, experiences every possible outcome of the war simultaneously. In some, she falls in glorious battle. In others, she leads humanity to victory. In this new existence, all these realities are equally valid, equally real. Dr. Patel and Dr. Khan, their minds expanded beyond the limits of space and time, continue to unravel the mysteries of the cosmic code. But now, instead of changing reality, they are reality, their thoughts shaping the very fabric of existence. The Nexari, once the greatest threat to the universe, find themselves an integral part of the new cosmic consciousness. Their unique perspective, honed by eons of multiversal manipulation, adds depth and complexity to the shared intelligence of all beings. And humanity, the species that began as humble primates on a small blue planet, now serves as the binding force that holds this new reality together. Their capacity for imagination, for empathy, for hope in the face of overwhelming odds becomes the cornerstone of this new existence. In this transcendent state, the lines between hero and villain, between victory and defeat, between past and future, all blur into a tapestry of infinite possibility. The war that nearly destroyed everything has led to a peace beyond imagination, a unity that spans not just all of space and time, but all possible spaces and times. And yet, even in this state of cosmic orness, the spark of individuality remains. For in the vastness of infinity, there will always be new frontiers to explore, new mysteries to unravel, and new stories to tell. As our tale comes to a close, we're left with a profound question. In a reality where everything is possible, where every story ever told or yet to be told exists simultaneously, what adventures await in the infinite expanse of the cosmic mind? The answer, like the new existence itself, is limited only by the boundaries of imagination, which is to say, it has no limits at all.